What is going on, y'all? FaizSportsTalk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL, here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, make sure you go ahead and you subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, please do so. Make sure to turn on my post notifications by clicking that bell icon down below, of course, after you subscribe, okay? And also follow me on my social media links below as always. So you obviously see the video title. We're talking about 3 reasons. I'm going to give you 3 reasons. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 reasons. I could have said 5, but I'm going to stick with 3 reasons why the Bears can win the NFC North. Okay? And again, you guys might be thinking, well, of course the Bears can win the NFC North, right? I thought this was, just known, right? Like, they have a good shot. No, well, actually, there's a lot of negativity out there, okay? And just from last season when the Bears went 8-8 and people think they're the worst team in this division. People think that the Bears regressed. And again, there's a lot of negativity out there. So I got to clear that up and say there is actually legitimate reasons that I'm going to present to you guys for why the Bears can win this division. Obviously, we all know last year the Packers won it, but that was last year. Okay, the Bears won this division 2 years ago, and they can win it again, and here's why. Let's start with reason number 1, numero uno. The Bears got better. I mean, flat out. It's as simple as it sounds, folks. The Bears got better this offseason. Let me explain how, okay? We'll start with free agency, and then we'll talk about the draft. In free agency, the Bears addressed the quarterback need. We needed a backup / starting quarterback because really we wanted somebody to come in and compete with Mitchell Trubisky. The Bears did exactly that by trading for quarterback Nick Foles. So say what you want about Trubisky, if you're a Trubisky truther or if you're a Trubisky hater, but you can't deny the fact that the Bears quarterback room got better from last season, which had Chase Daniel. So I think everybody can agree at least that Nick Foles is better than Chase, okay? Now, whether or not Nick Foles or Mitchell Trubisky starts, that is still to be decided in training camp. But point being is, whoever ends up winning the starting job, you better believe they have earned it, okay? So just off of that, the quarterback position got better or is going to get better, which was one of their biggest weaknesses last year, right? With Mitchell Trubisky regressing. Number 2, the Bears added pass rusher opposite Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn. Okay, they let go of Leonard Floyd, who was a disappointment as a first-round pick, and they signed Robert Quinn from the Dallas Cowboys because we needed somebody to take advantage of the fact that Khalil Mack is on the opposite side, and you should literally be falling into sacks, and that is exactly what Robert Quinn is going to do. And so this Bears defense, which was already a strength, got even stronger. And so their pass rush is going to be insane, and the Bears are a top 5 defense without a doubt. Okay? Next, tight end. A position of weakness. Absolutely, last year the Bears were awful at the tight end position, got absolutely no production whatsoever. They signed Jimmy Graham in free agency. Now, Jimmy Graham is absolutely not the same guy he was in his prime. He's over the hill. I got it. But Jimmy Graham is still an upgrade over what they had last year, okay? A banged-up, hurt Trey Burton, practice squad guys in J.P. Holtz and Jesper Horsted are still not better than a Jimmy Graham, even in 2020, okay? And so Jimmy Graham, still 2 things you can say about him. He'll play all the games, and he'll catch the ball. He might not have the burst and the speed like he did before, but he still has good hands. And, not to just skip ahead to the draft, but I will, they drafted Cole Kmet, the number 1 tight end in this year's NFL draft out of Notre Dame, who is absolutely, I believe, going to be a stud. And so right off the bat, the tight end position improved. Okay, it improved from last season. So you improve your quarterback play, you improve the pass rush, you improve the tight end. You had, you lost your cornerback, starting cornerback. Oh, you drafted a cornerback in the 2nd round in Jalen Johnson, who a lot of scouts believe was a first-round pick that fell to the 2nd round. So potentially got a new corner there. You lost a safety in Clinton Dix. You signed Tayshaun Gibson from the Houston Texans, who is a starting caliber NFL safety, a Pro Bowler. And so every position that was a weakness or need pretty much got addressed in the offseason, minus the offensive line, but the offensive line did get addressed absolutely in a way because we added depth. Okay, even though the Bears lost Kyle Long, they still added some depth. They signed Jermaine Afidi, Jason Spriggs. They had guys they drafted in the NFL draft for the offensive line. So they did that, and they also brought in a new offensive line coach in Juan Castillo to help perhaps scheme the guys to have a better play from the offensive line. Because if you remember, just 2 years ago, mainly the same offensive line did a lot better. So perhaps a scheme change is all that's needed. So if you take a look at the roster, I don't know how anybody can say the Bears didn't get better. Either they're just not paying attention or they're being ignorant and choosing not to pay attention. So the Bears absolutely got better. Let's move on to reason number 2 the Bears can win the NFC North. The division got worse. Again, fairly straightforward and simple, but people aren't talking about it enough, folks. Let's take a look at the other 3 teams in the division, in the Packers, the Vikings, and the Lions. We'll start with the Packers, who, of course, won the division last year. They had the worst draft pretty much out of the entire NFL this year, okay, when they took their first-round pick in Jordan Love. Now, Jordan Love could turn out to be good. We don't know that yet because he won't see the field until Aaron Rodgers wants him to, okay? So right off the bat, you don't have a guy that can help you for next year. We're not talking about 5 years from now. We're talking about next year, okay? And they drafted another running back, which they really didn't need because they have a good running back in Aaron Jones. The point being is the Packers did not get better in the draft. And then free agency-wise, I mean, the only notable signing really was Devin Funchess, who really isn't very notable. He's not that great of a guy, great of a receiver, excuse me. I don't even know him personally as a guy. But point being is the Packers did not get better. Okay, and so you can pretty much just expect them to stay the same or perhaps worse because now you have a pissed off Aaron Rodgers because they took a quarterback in the first round instead of helping Aaron Rodgers by getting him some weapons. So maybe that is at play here because certainly you can't tell me the Packers got better. Okay, let's take a look at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings lost Stephon Diggs, or I should say they traded away Stephon Diggs, and they ended up drafting Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is going to be nice, the wide receiver out of LSU, but he is not better than Stephon Diggs right now. He's just not. So, again, say what you want about this. That was a nice replacement, but he's a downgrade, okay? And so you've got Adam Thielen now, who's still very solid, but you've got Stephon Diggs, who was a better receiver, okay? You lost a number of players on the team. Everson Griffin, Xavier Rhodes, Linval Joseph. There was a bunch of big name additions, or I should say big names that are no longer on the Vikings. So they lost quite a few pieces. And when we take a look at the Minnesota Vikings, I still expect them to be solid. But I think, again, either you can make the argument they are stagnant or they got worse, but you certainly can't make the argument they got much better because I really, really don't see it. I mean, again, quarterback Kirk Cousins, he had a good year last year, but he could turn back into Kirk Cousins anytime. Dalvin Cook is still good. I give you that, but he is injury prone. Then obviously I've talked about the receiver situation. I've talked the tight end Kyle Rudolph doesn't really, do much for me. So other than that, I mean, like I said, stagnant or worse. Okay. And then finally the Detroit Lions, the Lions did, draft a running back in DeAndre Swift. They took Jeff Lakota, the cornerback, because they traded away Darius Slay. They did sign a few players in free agency, most notably some expatriate players. So the Lions did get better, okay? But overall, it's not enough for me to be able to put them in any sort of category with the other 3 teams, really. And so their biggest addition is getting their quarterback Matt Stafford back. That's really it. So to me, again, the Lions might have gotten slightly better, but it's still not enough to put them in the class with the Bears, Vikings, and the Packers. So overall, though, the division, unlike other divisions, got worse. And that is another reason the Chicago Bears can win the NFC. And finally, reason number 3, strength of schedule. Okay? Here's the thing, folks. 2 years ago when the Bears won the division, they had one of the easiest strength of schedules in the NFL. And, there is obviously a good correlation there for why the Bears won the division that year. Take last year, the Bears had one of the hardest schedules and one of the toughest strength of schedules in the NFL, and they went 8-8. So no surprise there. When your schedule is tough, you are going to struggle. Well, let's take a look at the strength of schedule for all 4 teams in the division, shall we? Okay, the Lions are tied for the 5th toughest strength of schedule, and that obviously doesn't bode well for their chances because they are, to me, the worst team in the division. Okay, then we've got the Minnesota Vikings, who have the 10th toughest strength of schedule that they're tied for. Then we've got the Chicago Bears, 13th toughest strength of schedule. And finally, the Green Bay Packers with the 15th toughest strength of schedule. Okay, and I've seen the Packers schedule. I know they are lower than the Bears, but that schedule is still brutal, folks. Okay, so when we take a look at that, the Bears have the 3rd easiest strength of schedule comparing it to the other 4 teams. And the only other team that's better than them in terms of having easier strength of schedule is the Packers. And I just told you guys how the Packers got worse or stagnant. They haven't really improved. And so when you add that up, strength of schedule, the Bears getting better, the division getting worse, I mean, it kind of aligns here with why the Bears can win this. So the schedule is working out in their favor. The division got worse. And the fact is that the Bears got better. And that should be enough to, give the Bears an opportunity. They certainly have one to win this division. So there you have it, folks. 3 reasons for why the Bears can win the NFC North, folks. And not a lot of people are picking them to do so, folks, but they certainly can. Okay, I know Nick Wright is an analyst that has picked the Bears. I believe he has the Bears going 12-4. But again, not too many people are. But the Bears certainly can win this division. I used to say the NFC North was the toughest division in pro football. That might not be the case anymore. The NFC West, you can make the argument, is tougher right now than the NFC North. So there you have, folks. Let me know what you guys think. Can the Bears win the NFC North? I certainly think so. Leave a comment down below if you agree with this. As always, thanks for watching.